Hello friends, welcome to the class of psychology, and today in this class I am going to continue chapter 4 psychological disorder. This would be part 3 of this chapter, and in this video I am going to cover somatic symptoms and related disorders, dissociative disorders, depressive disorders and bipolar disorders. So let's start. Okay, so now let me explain you what is somatic first. Somatic means something which is related to our body. Now in this we are talking about somatic symptoms. So symptoms which are related to our body like tiredness, fatigue or pain somewhere in the body which we experience. But in this disorder what happens is the cause of this symptom is not biological, it is only psychological. See, these are the conditions in which there are physical symptoms in the absence of physical disease. For example, the patient might be feeling these symptoms like pain or tiredness or any other bodily symptoms, but when he visits a doctor, the doctor says that everything is okay with the body, there is no problem. But still the person experiences these bodily symptoms. The cause of these symptoms is in the mind of the patient. That is, it is psychological. So now let us see what are the different disorders related to somatic symptoms. Okay, so first disorder is somatic symptom disorder. In this, the person or the patient experiences persistent body-related symptoms and they worry about their health. Means they are, even if the doctor has told them that there is no problem with their body, but still they are experiencing these symptoms because the cause, as I told you, is only psychological. Okay, and they keep on worrying about their physical health. So I'd like to discuss one case with you because these type of case studies you will be getting in the exam, and you have to identify the disorder. So for this, let me discuss an example of Reena. She complains of stomachache, headaches and fatigue. She visits a multiple doctors and undergoes various tests, but no medical case is found. And despite reassurance, she continues to worry excessively and misses work frequently due to her symptoms. Now you see, as I told you, that if you are experiencing these disorders, if you are given the label by the psychiatrist or mental health professionals, then that means it is dysfunctional, it is disturbing your daily routine. Then only you are diagnosed with these disorders. If you please remember 4 Ds of abnormality, always refer to the short. Also I had prepared for the 4 Ds so that it is well clear to the children. Okay, so I hope somatic symptom disorder must be clear with the case of Reena which I had discussed. She is experiencing the symptoms and is despite her doctor telling her that there is no problem, she continues to worry about it and also misses her office also. Okay, so now let me talk about illness anxiety disorder. In this, the person is experiencing preoccupation with having or getting a serious illness. Means either he might have also, or he is just preoccupied with the idea that he is suffering from serious illness, means like HIV, AIDS or cancer or something. Although doctors are finding no biological cause of it. Okay, so now let me discuss one case of Amit with you. Amit is a boy who constantly worries that he might have cancer. Even after multiple normal tests, doctors telling him that he is healthy, he is fine, he keeps on searching about the disease and gets anxious when he hears someone else talking about. That is why we say that we should not talk about the diseases to anyone. We should not search about the symptoms online. It is very dangerous. It creates these type of disorders also, because the person start thinking that he is having this disorder. And apart from this, the energies, negative energies also create problems, which the researchers are telling us these days. Okay, so he misinterprets even the minor sensations, like in some throat or some headache. He would think that he is having some serious illness. I hope Amit's case is clear to you. Otherwise, you can write in the comment section. I'll explain again. Next is conversion disorder. In this, the person experiences the loss of functioning in some part of the body. It is a sort of a paralysis. Although the paralysis is not there, but still the person experiences it is psychological in nature. And I don't know whether on this media I should speak about, but when I give the example in the class, I do give them. Like the root cause is psychological, and these religious counselors, whom you can call religious PA, these babas and all, the person is on the wheelchair. And because the person is having the faith, the patient is having the faith in that person so much that he says, and he is okay with it. Okay. And let me also tell you about the case of a girl called Priya. After witnessing a traumatic incident, Priya suddenly loses her ability to speak and walk. Although neurological examination says that there is no damage, her symptoms appear to be related to psychological stress, and she experienced not a physical disease. In general, both somatic symptom disorders and illness anxiety disorders are concerned with the medical illness, but the way this concern is expressed is different. Okay. Okay, so now let us talk about dissociative disorders. Now, as per the definition of this disorder, which is given in your NCERT, it means that a disruption in the normal integration of consciousness, memory, identity, and perception is called dissociative disorder. Now, let's try to understand what type of disassociation it is, from what the person is trying to disconnect. The patient who is suffering from dissociative disorder is disconnected from his own consciousness, and he forgets the things. He takes the identity of the other person, and is not able to perceive the world in reality. Now let me explain you further. What is consciousness? You all know it is awareness. Now, we as a normal individual are aware of what we are doing at the present time. You are listening to this video. I am delivering this lecture. I am aware of it. You are aware of it. But the person who is suffering from dissociative disorder is not able to get aware of his surroundings. Whatever is happening in his environment, he is not able to get aware of it. Then his memory, uh, our memory is fairly good, but the person who is suffering from dissociative disorder is disconnected from his memory, that he does not remember, he forgets the things. His memory is selective also at times. Then identity. Identity means like we know who we are. Like right now, I know I am Kavita and my personality is this, my identity is this. But the patient who are suffering from dissociative disorders are not able to relate to their own identity. They perceive the other person's identity in themselves, and then perception, of course, is away from reality. We are able to perceive the world in reality, whereas the person is disconnected from his perception of the world. Okay, so now let us understand the key features of this disorder. Almost I had discussed with you, that is only is repeated. That means it will be clear that you have understood or not if you understand these key features again. See, this connection between the thoughts and emotions. The person's thoughts are different, emotions related to those thoughts are different, have no connection between. Okay, for example, if I'm thinking ki I am beautiful, so I would feel happy about it. But there is no connection between the thoughts and emotion of the patient. Then feelings of unreality, that is, they are not able to connect with the real aspect, real environment. Then depersonalization, that is, they detach themselves from their bodies. And estrangement, that is, detachment from the surroundings. And then a sudden and temporary alterations of consciousness I have talked about. Then why does this occur? This occurs because of some painful experience or overwhelming stress. God forbids, like this plane crash which has occurred recently. Now the person's relative might experience sometime these symptoms. Of course, will not label them until it is labeled by professionals. Okay, then now let me talk about the types of dissociative disorders. The first type, if I start with dissociative identity disorder, you all must be aware of the term multiple personality disorders. Various movies have been made on this. Right now I am remembering Parichit, which talks about this multiple personality disorder. If you are interested in understanding multiple personality disorders, you can Google. There are various other movies also, and once you can watch, so that the symptoms of the dissociative disorders are very clear in your mind and you are able to write properly in your examinations. Now, in these, what you find is, you find presence of two or more distinct identities. As I was telling you when I was talking about identity in the definition, and they are linked to childhood trauma. And then just now I had explained to you, it is also depersonalization and derealization disorder. Okay, now if I talk about dissociative amnesia, then I am going to read case studies for you related to all these disorders so that you are able to understand them in a better way, and in exam the case studies would be there. So I'll take one quiz also on my channel. You all can participate. There you will be guessing which what is talking about what, which case is talking about which disorder. That will help you. And also I remember that there are already 100 questions of this chapter available on my channel. So you can refer to them at your ease. You can refer to them. Now, they are all from the board papers. So they are definitely going to help you. Now let me talk about dissociative amnesia. Amnesia is loss of memory. Now there is disconnection with the memory, and this memory disconnection is selective and at the personal information, events and peoples. Then there is one form of dissociative amnesia which is called dissociative fugue. In this, it is associated with sudden travel. Person has left the one place and assumed the new identity, and then previous identity he forgets. This also has been displayed in many movies. Anyhow, now I will be reading some case studies with you related to one of each disorder. First, as I started with dissociative identity disorder, so I'm reading a case which is going to make these symptoms more clearer to you. And still, if you have doubt, you can please write in the comment section and I'll surely give you the response. So the case says, a person named Ria has alternative identities. One is Sam, a confident and aggressive male persona, and other is Tina, a fearful childlike personality. So you see, this is only written presence of two or more distinct identities. So this case is explaining dissociative identity disorder. Now these identities emerge in response to stress, and Ria has memory gaps when they take control. Okay, I read it once more. So without discussing the symptoms, so that if you want, you can re-watch, re-listen, and this dissociative identity disorder will be clearer to you. See, a person named Ria has alternate identities. One is Sam, a confident and aggressive male persona, and other is Tina, a fear childlike personality. These identities merge in response to stress, and Ria has memory gaps when they take control. Okay, so now let me discuss the case of dissociative amnesia. Now, a woman survives a traumatic car accident where her spouse dies, physically unharmed. She later cannot remember anything about the accident or even her spouse names, though she recalls other aspects of her life. Okay, so this is the case of dissociative amnesia. Now next, let me talk about dissociative fugue. A man under extreme stress disappears from home. Days later, he is found working at the cafe in another city, and under a different name. He has no memory of his past identity or how he got there. Suddenly, he wakes up and recalls everything, feeling confused. Okay, so I tried my level best that all these disorders are clear to you. But still, if you have, because it is all new for you, and you just have to remember these symptoms, and you should be able to identify these symptoms and remember the disorder and able to solve the case study questions which will be given to you from this chapter. Okay, so now let us continue further. Okay, so now I start with depressive disorders. Let us do it in short because this you will be able to follow very easily. See, it is most common mental disorder. It involves persistent negative mood and behavioral changes. You see, now what are the triggers of depression? You all can relate very well to it. The breakup of a relationship, and especially during the adolescence, you experience so many infatuations and crushes and whatnot. So all this might depress you for a period of time, but then, as I told you, that do not get confused. You will not be labeled as depressive, means you're suffering from depression until and unless these symptoms, which I'll be explaining just now, persist for more than 6 months. Now, failure to achieve important goal. It's very important, isn't it? Now, these are normal emotional responses and not always clinical depression. This is what I wanted to tell you. Don't think, even after the breakup, if you are experiencing your negative moods, then don't think that you have depression. Okay, next is major depression disorders. This term is defined by the period of low mood or loss of interest plus the other symptoms. Not only your mood is upset, it is you are experiencing some changes in your weight, some changes in your sleep, and your body is getting fatigued. You have difficulty in thinking, your concentration is poor, you are experiencing some guilt. All this has to be combined with the other factors, then only the person will be labeled as depression. It's very easily used. This term is very easily and used, but depression is not the normal emotional response, please. Okay, so now let us talk about what are the risk factors for depression. First is genetics or heredity. Simple to explain. If it is running in your family, then chances are that you might also suffer depression at one point or the other in your life. But if your age also matters, if you are a young girl in your early, say 20s, when the transition takes place, the girls get married, although now the girls have started marrying late. So here it is talking about that. They are in the higher risk of depression because of lot of changes which they are experiencing. They leave their own house, they come, then there are different other challenges they face. They have to maintain work-life balance also. So, and aged maids are more prone to depression, according to the researchers. Okay. Then, life events are also responsible for depression. We have discussed various life events when we were doing chapter 3. So you can go to that video and also watch what are different life events. When the person do not have emotional support, then also the person suffers from depression. Okay, so I'm concluding this because it is easy, I feel, to understand also depression now because it is commonly talked about so much. Then this dissociative disorders. Let's proceed to the next slide. Okay, so now let me talk about bipolar and related disorders. Now, in this, what happens is sometimes the person experiences euphoria and the other time his mood is so down. Sometimes he is on the top floor and sometimes he is under the ground. This type of situation occurs in bipolar 1 disorder. It involves mania and depression, which are alternatively present and sometimes interrupted by the periods of normal mood also. Now, manic episodes rarely appear by themselves. They usually alternate with depression. Okay, so this is how you can also show in your papers. Mania, that is euphoric stage, and depression, that is means low moods, and normal mood also is seen. This type of disorder is called bipolar disorder. Then disorders are bipolar 2 disorders and cyclothymic disorders. The symptoms of these are not required as per your NCERT. Okay, so now let us understand that the patients who are suffering from bipolar disorders or depressive disorders might sometime take their own lives. That is, they might commit suicide. So, in this part of the chapter, we are going to discuss what are the risk factors involved in suicide, as well as what can be done about to prevent suicide. Okay, so now let us talk about some of the risk factors. But before that, I would tell you that suicide can take place at any point of time in the life. There is no specific that these age children or this age men or females, they commit suicide. Now, having mental disorder, one thing is if you are suffering from any type of mental disorder, then especially depression or substance abuse, then it is possible that someday or the other you might commit suicide. Now, they are at a higher risk. We need to work on these people. Those who are going through natural disasters and experiencing violence, abuse, or isolation at any stage of their life. Apart from this, if the person has attempted suicide once, that person is also at a risk of committing suicide later on. Talk about some of the actions which we can take to prevent suicide. We have to identify the vulnerable situation of the individual. We have to comprehend, understand the circumstances which is leading to that behavior, and also plan some intervention based on our knowledge of his conditions. So, some of the steps which we can take is, as a society, limiting access to means of suicide. You know, these poison and all, or the knife and all should not be available with the person who is under risk and there are chances that he'll commit suicide. Reporting suicide in a responsible way, media plays an important role in it. Then bringing in alcohol related policies so that the people, they do not get addicted to this alcohol. Early identification, treatment and care of the people who are already at risk. Then some of the measures, this question comes in your exam, children. Measures suggested by WHO for preventing suicide. It is, first measure is same which I had discussed with you just now. Limiting access to the means of suicide. Okay, developing personal identity, developing self-esteem of the student, self-esteem of the person, increasing his confidence, providing him opportunities for development, development of the individual, providing him training in physical, social and vocational skills, establishing trustful communication, can somehow help us in preventing suicide. I think this much only I plan to discuss in this video, and we'll continue, and I think so till my next video. Happy learning. Please do like, share and subscribe if you are feeling that my videos are helping you in little way. Thank you.